Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday, September 6th City Council Agenda Business Meeting. I will now call this meeting to order. Tonight's Pledge of Allegiance and invocation, if she so chooses. I got this. Councilwoman Knoll, thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's pray. Dear Jesus, thank you for this day, life, health, and strength. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work. I pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city government, and especially, Lord, for the assembled council here today. I pray for the agenda set before us today. Help us to work together with one mind and one purpose. Please give us assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in around in our beloved city of Chattanooga. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilwoman Knoll.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We have no special presentations this evening. We'll entertain a motion for our minutes. Minutes have been motioned. To have a second? Without objection, they will stand. Ordinances on final reading. Madam Clerk, Council Office, item A, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 11, Article 21, Downtown Central Business Improvement District, Downtown CBID, Section 11531, estimated cost and rate of levy, special assessment procedure for certain nonprofit organizations.
Madam Vice Chair,
Move to approve.
I do have a motion to approve. I do hear a second. Questions, comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item carried. Madam Clerk, ordinances on first reading. Planning item A, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 6422 Hickson Pike from R1 residential zone to RT1 residential townhouse zone subject to certain conditions.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is my understanding the applicant wishes to withdraw this case, so I move to withdraw.
Do you have a motion to withdraw? I do hear a second. Questions, comments before we vote? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Item is withdrawn. Under resolutions, council office, Madam Clerk, without objection from the council, we'll take items A through E as a package, please.
Item A, a resolution confirming the appointment of Leah Ann Wiles to the Head Start Governing Board for District 2 with a term beginning September 6, 2022 and ending September 6, 2024. Item B, a resolution confirming the appointment of Sandra Norwood to the Head Start Governing Board for District 5 with a term beginning September 6, 2022 and ending September 6, 2023. Item C, a resolution confirming the appointment of Sharon Watts to the Head Start Governing Board for District 6 with a term beginning September 6, 2022 and ending September 6, 2024. Item D, a resolution confirming the appointment of Whitney Browser to the Head Start Governing Board for District 7 with a term beginning September 6, 2022 and ending September 6, 2023. Item E, a resolution confirming the reappointment of Edward Green Jr. to the Board of Sign Appeals for District 9 with a term beginning September 6, 2022 and ending September 6, 2025.
Dr. Burrs.
Move approval.
Have a motion to approve. I hear several seconds. Questions, comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations and thank you for all who are here willing to serve on our boards and commissions for the city of Chattanooga. Under Economic Development, Madam Clerk, item F, please.
A resolution confirming the surplus of property located at 501 West 12th Street, further identified as tax map number 145CB001.
Madam Vice Chair,
Move approval.
have a motion to approve. Do hear a second. Questions, comments before we vote? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Item F carries. Finance, item G, Madam Clerk.
A resolution authorizing a one-time exception to the PTO buyback policy at 100% for certain employees who were overpaid during the 2021 pay plan implementation process due to calculation errors based on incorrect position, seniority, dates, subject to certain conditions.
Dr. Burrs,
Move approval.
have a motion to approve. I do hear a second. Questions or comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Item carries. Human Resources, Madam Clerk, item H, please.
A resolution authorizing the Chief Human Resources Officer to renew the blanket purchase order 552039 agreement with Industrial Organizational Solutions, IO Solutions, for the purpose of promotional assessment services for the Chattanooga Fire Department for the final term of 1 year for a total contract amount not to exceed $120,000.
Chair will entertain a motion. Have a motion to approve. I do have a second to that motion. Questions, comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Item carries. Under the Mayor's Office, item I, Madam Clerk, please.
A resolution renaming the outdoor Chattanooga building located at 200 River Street to the Philip Grimes Outdoor Chattanooga Building.
Dr. Burrs, I have a motion to approve, a second by Councilman Smith as a co-sponsor, along with myself. Questions, comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Item I carries. Madam Clerk, Planning, item J, please.
A resolution to jointly apply with Chattanooga Hamilton County North Georgia Transportation Planning Organization as lead applicant to the United States Department of Transportation for funding through the Safe Streets for All SS4A grant to develop a metropolitan planning area comprehensive safety action plan.
Have a motion to approve. Motion has a second. Questions, comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Item J carries. Moving on to Parks and Public Works. Public Works, Madam Clerk, item K, L, and M, without objection from council, we'll take as a package.
Item K, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 1 with Complete Demolition Services LLC for contract number E16006 Upton City Mill Site Cleanup and Remediation Project for an increase of $137,520 for additional imported fill to complete the required soil cover cap and authorizing a contingency amount of $300,000 for a total amount of $1,862,920.30. Item L, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number F18001-201 wall panel repairs at Fire Hall number 10 to Midwest Maintenance, Inc., Piqua, Ohio, to repair structural wall panels for $65,059 with a contingency in the amount of $6,500 for a total amount of $71,559. Item M, a resolution Authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number W19006-201, City Coal Pump Station Improvements to Heron Construction Company, Inc., Etowah, Tennessee, to increase capacity and improve redundancy in the amount of $9,242,200 with a contingency in the amount of $924,200 for a total amount of $10,166,200.
Councilman Hester? Do we have a motion to approve? I do hear a second. Questions, comments before we vote? Councilwoman Noel, I see your light.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just want to say how we appreciate the investment for the City Coal Pump Station. That is actually the largest pump station here in the city, and especially for District 8, we have the water overflow when the rains really, really hard. So that is really going to open up the capacity to be able to handle that. It's going to make us have a healthier and safer neighborhood. So I really appreciate Public Works and working with Bill Payne. Absolutely fabulous. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Councilwoman Noel. We do have a motion on the floor to approve with a second. Further questions or comments on this item? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Items carry. Mr. Goldberg, purchases this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have 5 purchases recommended for approval tonight. The first is Fleet Management Division, Public Works. Request for a 12-month extension of contract for sedans, SUVs, vans, and light trucks. The extension will give the new fleet director time to evaluate options for bidding and/or use of cooperative purchasing agreements. The vendor is Ford of Dalton, and the extension includes a 12% price increase with the annual amount not to exceed $2 million. Second, from Facilities Division, Public Works, new blanket contract for the purchase of protective footwear. 2 bids were received, and the award goes to Centus Corporation. This will be a 4-year contract with an annual amount not to exceed $80,000. Next, Technology Services, new blanket contract for purchase of technology services and products. This procurement utilizes Omnia Partners Cooperative Agreement with SHI International. This will be a 3-year contract with an annual amount not to exceed $500,000. Next, from Early Learning, we have purchase of playground equipment for Head Start centers. This procurement utilizes Omnia Partners Cooperative Contract R220202 with Park and Play Structures. The amount is estimated at $447,208 with an amount not to exceed $500,000. And lastly, from Parks and Outdoors, we have a purchase of a new Holland compact track loader. This purchase utilizes Sourcewell Cooperative Contract 032119-CNH. The vendor is Chattanooga Tractor and Equipment, Inc., and the amount is $89,500.
Have a motion to approve tonight's purchases. I do hear a second. Questions, comments? And for those of you following along, purchases are sent out late in the week where we've had an opportunity to look them over, and also at 3:30 agenda session where we have an opportunity to ask questions and receive further information from the staff at that time. Have a motion to approve. I do hear a second. Questions, comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Purchases carry. We have 2 emergency purchases, but we have no RFPs tonight, Mr. Goldberg.
Correct.
Correct.
And yes, 2 emergency purchases. The first, Public Works initiated an emergency purchase pursuant to a court order to utilize C-SLAP funding to repair a broken wastewater lateral located in the roadway at 5008 16th Avenue. Repairs were completed by Southeast Total Service LLC with a cost of $45,634.04. And the second one, on June 9th, 2022, the CFO initiated an emergency purchase to procure temporary payroll staffing services from Robert Half in the amount of $35,000. On August 31st, 2022, the CFO initiated another emergency purchase to add $75,000 to this purchase order to ensure continuity of payroll operations through December 31st, 2022. The cost is offset by multiple vacancies in the payroll division. The new amount is not to exceed $110,000.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. We'll move on to committee reports. Councilman Henderson.
No.
Councilwoman Hill.
Thank you, Chairman. Planning and Zoning met today, and the Planning Commission meets on Monday.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Smith. Councilman Hester.
Parks and Outdoors met today, and we had an outstanding presentation by Scott, and we're looking forward for great things from Parks and Outdoors. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Coonrod? Councilwoman Knoll? Dr. Burrs? Madam Vice Chair? Thank you. Councilman Henderson, is that a new light?
Yes, sir, it is.
Sure.
I thought I might ought to back up the truck and announce that we are having a short-term vacation rental ad hoc meeting on the 13th in the council conference room at 1 o'clock next week on the
1
13th.
o'clock. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That concludes committee reports, and that does conclude our ordinances and resolutions for this evening. We'll now move into recognition of persons wishing to address the council. If there's anyone who wishes to address council this evening, would you please start to come forward? And while we do that, Mr. Attorney, will you read the rules for public speaking, please?
Yes, sir. At the end of every council business meeting, the chair recognizes members of the public that wish to address the council, and here's your rules. Each speaker wishing to address the council can only be recognized at the microphone up front provided for that purpose. No person can have more than 3 minutes to speak. The speaker may address the council only upon matters within the legislative and quasi-judicial authority of the council and not upon matters which are not under the authority of the council or which are regulated by other governmental bodies. The speaker is not permitted to use any vulgar or obscene language, nor use the floor to personally denigrate or personally attack others. The speaker should address the council as a whole and not make comments directed towards individual council members. Anyone wishing to address the council can only do so once a day, and you can't have any disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting, which is prohibited by Tennessee law. A person commits an offense if the person substantially obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Go right ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Marie Mott, District 8. There are only two ways to influence human behavior. You can manipulate it or you can inspire it. Very few people or companies or organizations can clearly articulate why they do what they do. By why, I mean your purpose, cause, or belief. Why do you exist? Why do you get out of bed every morning? And why should anyone care? People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. As Simon Sinek, it's a great book called Start With Why. If you haven't read that, you should also pick up the Infinite Game as well. But today I wanted to talk about our city is in peril. This Sunday, we had an article published in the paper that the majority of students in Hamilton County, according to standardized tests, are failing one or more subjects. That is a direct byproduct, not only of Hamilton County, because we put the responsibility on them, but the truth of the matter is that we are seeing manifested through crime, that young people are participating in crime younger and younger as the years are going by. This is not a mistake. It's not a county problem. It's all of our problem. And I think it's very unfortunate for us to see what is happening manifest through schools that are crumbling in our districts, schools that are producing children that are functionally illiterate. And the city is not thinking about what are we getting ready to do for these young people in our community. They are the next generations of what's supposed to be leadership, what are supposed to be the people who are going to take up the mantle of responsibility in the community. And the thing is, what doesn't look like a problem today manifests itself as a problem later on down the line. And this is just one of many issues like gun violence that is continuing to go on, homelessness, food deserts, just problems are compounding in our district. So I just wanted to give you maybe something you've never done that you could possibly do to see about how you can solve problems. There was a question asked by a certain council person that they didn't really understand what public commentary is for. It's actually an opportunity. For me, it's a smorgasbord of information. I would ask for the memo notes on a monthly basis. I would want to see for the people specifically in my district, what are the common issues that they're talking about consistently? Then I would ask for all of the memo notes from everybody that comes up from public commentary to see what are the common things that they're talking about. And you can key search for words by typing Control F on your computer, homelessness, gun violence, various different things. And when you see trends or things that are coming up persistently, that means that that is a consistent issue that people are concerned about. And that's how you go about thinking about what problems need to be solved in our community. I just want to put that before you. You don't have to do it. But I mean, if you're the fourth worst ran city in the nation 3 times running, we might need to try some new things. I just wanted to put that before you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn.
Hello, Joshua Capellas here. I'm here to speak on behalf of the unsheltered citizens in this community, our homeless. Thank you for your time today. I have been a resident of the Chattanooga area for 12 years, and today I travel approximately 112 miles to be here. I live outside the area. And sometimes I speak on behalf of the homeless here, sometimes I feed and clothe, sometimes I build little emergency shelters, but I'm never far enough away to forget about my friends who are unsheltered. We're all created equal. We all deserve a safe place to sleep and to rest. This is America, the land of the land of the free and home of the brave. Free means to not be under the control of another power, and brave means ready to face and endure danger or pain and showing courage. The pursuit of happiness is a fundamental right in the Declaration of Independence, so long as you do not violate the rights of others. Under the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, warrantless searches or seizures are prohibited. The Supreme Court, the Ninth District Court, made it so that it's not illegal to be homeless or indigent or poor. Poorness is not a crime. And that includes here in Chattanooga. I know there are some state laws on structures, and there also used to be some state or federal laws on women's suffrage and for people of color. But today we have Martin Luther King Boulevard right down here. The time is now to act and even violate certain rules in the process of discovery of better ones. I know from experience it is easier to ask for forgiveness than to permission. By working with the public, you can charge people like me with crimes for helping the homeless so you don't get in trouble. You can call me. November 1st is the deadline. It'll be cold. We need to act with a sense of urgency, like a first responder or like we do in the military. Work together. There's no such thing as politics. We're all just people. Democracy is not perfect. We are all in this together to form a more perfect union. To support individual human rights is the basis of why we're here. And I speak on behalf of the homeless because I care deeply about them. I form friendships with them just as you would anybody else. I care about them as if they're my children, my parents, my brothers, and my sisters are just random people. I have a great calling to help people, and I've helped a lot of people with a lot of help from other people. And I'm looking to work with the city as opposed to against them. And I do care very much, and I'm willing to put aside my personal differences to help. We need to reach out to people like me who have good ideas and hands that work hard and different resources, and have worked with a lot of different volunteers in this community. And the word on the street is that the people out there suffering now, they are actually cared for by all the individuals in this community. Individuals who don't have an organization, who don't come here. They just show up with food, hugs, and handbags, and whatever else they need. So I want to see how we can make some progress before these tents freeze and people die out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Josh.
I'm John. I live in Highland Park. In 1995, 700 Chicagoans died in one of the worst heat waves in America. And the sociologist Eric Kleinberg said that this was not a natural disaster, but a social one. The number one determining factor as to whether or not an at-risk person would die from this heat wave was social capital. And I can't help but hear my ear being bent from the two people who spoke before me about the continuity between these ideas and how they affect our community. Social capital is the lack of access to adequate transportation. It's a lack of access to home and food security, and the lack of access to interaction among your community. But there are two types of social capital. There's bonding and there's bridging. If I like Florida State and you like the Tennessee Volunteers, we have a bonded social capital in our disdain for the Florida Gators. This brings us together as a group, and there's many types of things that bond people. At-risk communities are bonded together, and their social capital helps them survive. But there's a second type of social capital, and that's bridging social capital. So if I go to church with someone who's a Florida Gator, maybe our theological sameness is enough to overcome the difference between our sports teams. Bonding social capital helps groups survive. Bridging social capital helps groups thrive. I was born in to a pretty poor family. I was one of 9 kids. Neither of my parents graduated college. We didn't have centralized heating or air, but somehow I went to college, graduated when I was 29. I own a home, and I have a pretty good job. And a study recently came out that said the #1 determining factor for a poor person that can break that cycle is proximity, or bridging social capital to people who can help them out. And that's definitely true with me. While I was poor in the monetary sense growing up, I was rich in relationships, and those relationships helped pull me out. When we look at our communities, it's very easy to throw money at problems rather than ingenuity when we have it. Sometimes the biggest problems we overcome is how to find the money rather than how to figure out more creative ways to solve problems. Libraries, for example, though, have been around for a while. They've been sometimes referred to as palaces of the people because they bring about both bonding and bridging social capital. Transportation focused solely on subsidizing the car can create disparate distances between food sources and create food deserts that depletes people of their social capital. So, in summary, I think upzoning, public transportation, and getting rid of things like minimum parking requirements can play a small role in bringing tight-knit communities together and bridging the gap between disparate communities. Bonding social capital helps people survive. Bridging social capital helps communities thrive. Thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else wishing to address council this evening? If not, I'll entertain a motion. We have a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.